The Lantern Keeper. In a small coastal village nestled between the rolling hills and the endless stretch of sea, lived an old woman named Anwen. She was known to all, but truly understood by few. To most, she was simply the Lantern Keeper. Her cottage stood alone, perched on the cliff's edge, its garden wild with lavender and thyme. Wind brushed constantly through the tall grass and scattered petals from her window boxes. From her porch, Anwen could see the sea in every shade, silver in the dawn, green in the storm, gold in the evening. She loved the ocean, but more than that, she listened to it. And it always seemed to whisper secrets just for her. Every evening, just before dusk, she would wrap herself in a faded shawl, take her walking stick, and carry a single lantern down a winding path. The path twisted through old stone steps, past gull nests and weathered driftwood, until it reached a secluded cove hidden by cliffs. Few ever went down there, not because they were forbidden, but because it felt sacred. As if stepping there meant stepping into something older than memory. In the center of the cove stood a ring of stones, ancient, towering, moss-covered. They formed a perfect circle, enclosing a single pedestal. That's where Anwen placed the lantern. Every evening, without fail, she would light it, and sit beside it, sometimes for minutes, sometimes for hours. The lantern's flame never flickered, not even in the wind. It burned with a steady golden glow, like a quiet heartbeat. To the villagers, it was just a curious habit, a tradition. Children would ask their parents, "Why does she light the lantern?" And parents would reply with hushed tales. "It's to guide lost souls back from the sea," some said. "It's for the man she lost long ago," said others. "No, it's magic," one child whispered. "She's keeping something sleeping." But Anwen never told the truth. She just smiled kindly when asked, and continued her silent vigil. What no one knew was that the lantern had been burning long before she took over. When Anwen was only a child, she once followed a strange light down to the cove. Everyone thought she was lost that day, but she remembered it vividly. The mist had rolled in thick, and a light soft and golden shimmered ahead, leading her safely through the fog. At the center of the stone circle stood the lantern already lit. And beside it stood a boy, perhaps 15, wearing clothes that looked like they belonged to another century. He smiled at her and said, "Thank you for keeping the light." Then, without another word, he vanished into the mist. From that day on, Anwen felt connected to the lantern. As she grew, she returned often, not out of fear or obligation, but out of peace. The light comforted her. It never demanded, never explained, just waited. When she was older and the previous keeper passed quietly in his sleep, Anwen found the lantern waiting for her. As if it knew, she picked it up, lit the flame, and took her place at the pedestal. Years passed, then decades. The village changed. Children grew up, houses were rebuilt, but Anwen remained the same. The quiet woman with the silver braid and the gentle eyes, who lit the lantern every dusk. She had no family left, no need for clocks or calendars. Her life followed the rhythm of the sea and the stars. And then one night, everything shifted. The sky was unusually clear, the air still and cool. No gulls cried, no breeze stirred the trees. Anwen felt it before she even reached the cove, a strange stillness, like holding your breath. She placed the lantern down and lit the flame. It pulsed once, just once, and for the first time in all her years, it shimmered with a blue hue before settling into gold. Then the mist rolled in. Out of it came a figure. Not a stranger, not a ghost, but the boy. The same boy from her childhood, unchanged by time. His eyes held the calm of the ocean, and when he spoke, his voice was like wind through pine trees. "You've kept it burning," he said softly. "The path is clear." Anwen didn't speak. She didn't need to. She simply stood, her body light as air, her heart full of calm. For the first time in her life, she didn't feel old. She felt ready. She looked back once, at the cliff above, the village asleep, the stars bright overhead. Then she took the boy's hand and stepped into the fog. By morning, the lantern still burned. But Anwen was gone. There were no footprints, no broken twigs. Only the quiet warmth of the lantern, and a sense, not of sadness, but of completion. The villagers mourned, in their way. They left flowers. Someone painted her cottage door blue. And eventually, a new keeper took her place. A quiet girl who'd once followed a soft light into the cove and found peace in its glow. The flame still burns, each and every night. And if you find yourself walking by the cliffs at dusk, you might see the golden light down below. Steady, gentle, waiting for someone willing to keep it burning. By morning, the lantern still burned. But Anwen was gone. There were no footprints in the sand. No signs of a struggle. No notes left behind. Just the soft, golden light of the lantern, glowing steadily at the center of the ancient stones. When the villagers realized she was missing, they gathered quietly. No one dared to move the lantern. They stood in respectful silence, watching the flame, and one by one, they began to understand. Anwen hadn't disappeared, she had completed something. Fulfilled a promise, closed a circle. For days afterward, the village moved a little slower. People spoke a little softer. Children who once ran along the cliffs now paused near the old path, looking toward the cove. A few of them claimed they saw shadows moving in the mist. One swore she heard music, a single bell, far away, and the sound of waves clapping gently against stone.